And 7.3 gives us all of the skills that we need to be able to get a common denominator, build equivalent fractions, and add two fractions together. It starts out with about 3 problems in my math lab that already have a common denominator. So I'll write this over a little bit larger. Suppose I have 5m over 2n plus 3m over 2n. Do those two fractions already have a common denominator? And the answer is yes, so I don't have to worry about that. You're going to see that I take a step that you may not want to take. I take a moment to put down the single denominator and write the numerators together on that same fraction. Then go ahead and add or subtract whatever is appropriate. And what do I get? I get 8m over 2n. And can that fraction be reduced? Yes. So I can divide 2 into the bottom, it goes once, and 2 into the top, it goes 4 times. My answer is 4m over n. Okay, so that's all we're doing when the denominators are already alike. Okay, so it's nice if the denominators are already alike. Let's take a look at problem number 2. Let's see. I'm going to come down here and do this problem because I'm just not really going to have enough room. All right, suppose I have 7a over a squared plus 6a minus 16 minus 14 over a squared plus 6a minus 16. All right, this is problem number 2. And I have just scooted down. Addition or subtraction? I need a common denominator. Do I have a common denominator? And the answer is yes. So I will write it once. I have a squared plus 6a minus 16 over 7a minus 14. I cannot actually perform this subtraction because those are not like terms. So it's time to just see if I can reduce. Reducing was back in 7.1. You don't reduce unless you have a common factor. So what do I need to try to do to the top and try to do to the bottom? I need to try to factor them. Can you factor that numerator? I think I'll go ahead and just keep going down. Common factor of 7. 7 goes into 7a times. 7 goes into negative 14, negative 2 times. Over. The denominator looks like a trinomial, maybe trial and error. I need 1 plus and 1 minus, an a and an a, factors of 16 that have a difference of 6. So 8 and 2. All right. Now that they're factored, do you see any common factors? A minus 2, a minus 2. So hopefully you practice 7.1 doing the reducing because we're going to do a good bit of it today. Final answer is 7 over a plus 8. Is that okay? Any questions? Okay. Problem number 3, if you looked back, it is another subtraction problem. So I'm going to come down here where I've got a little bit more room. And I have 6x minus 11 over x squared minus 5x minus 24. Subtract. (5x minus 3) over x squared minus 5x minus 24. Something that I want you to be careful about on this is it is a subtraction problem. That subtraction applies to all of that numerator, so you have to be careful. If you write it as a single fraction, x squared minus 5x minus 24, it is 6x minus 11 minus 5x minus 3. The parentheses on this first numerator part are not important, but the parentheses on the second are, because that's what indicates that the negative will get distributed. So you have to have those. That gives me 6x minus 11. Distribute negative 1 times 5x is negative 5x. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3 over x squared minus 5x minus 24. The sign right here on the plus 3, that's the most likely place for a mistake. All right, let's combine like terms in the numerator. I have 6x minus 5x gives me x. I have negative 11 and positive 3, which gives me minus 8. And it's over x squared minus 5x minus 24. Sure. The numerator, I had a 6x minus a 5x gave me x. Then I had negative 11 and positive 3, so I subtracted. I got 8. The sign of the big one was negative. It was negative 8. Okay, we're at the end of the problem. We had a common denominator. We put them together. We did the arithmetic. If you're going to be able to reduce, that's always a question at the end, what do you have to be able to do? You have to be able to factor and get a common factor. So you always ask if you can reduce. So I'll keep the x minus 8. And do you think we can factor this denominator? Yes. 1 plus and 1 minus, an x and an x. Think I need a minus 8 and a plus 3? So you can see that again in this lesson it is factor, factor, factor. Common factor, x minus 8. What's my final answer? Yes, 1 over x plus 3.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where did you get the one that you multiply 6x?
Okay.
6x, I thought you said 6x times 1.
Well, they're up here.
Yeah.
There is an implied 1 in front of it, which means that nothing changes, the parentheses drop off. In this one, it is a negative 1 that gets distributed, so it changes the 5x to negative 5x, and it changes the negative 3 to positive 3.
Then 6x minus
5x is 1x, but we don't write the 1.
Now is 11. I thought 6x, because that's what you call it.
Okay, 6x minus 5x. So 6 minus 5 is 1. 6 plus 5 would be 11.
Oh, 6 minus.
It is minus, because the sign in front of that is minus. So it's a sign directly in front of it. And then negative 11 and positive 3. Are we okay with that? All right, so the first skill that we did was for problems 1, 2, and 3 in my math lab for section 7.3 is that we did addition and subtraction, and we already had common denominators. Then at the end of the problem, we had to make sure if we could reduce it, that we did. The next several problems, and I think I'll be able to do these probably right in this space, is to find the least common denominator for some denominators. So in this problem, in problem number 4, it has 13 over 2x, then it has a comma, because you're not asked to add or subtract. You're just looking at two fractions, trying to find out the common denominator. 20 over 6x to the third. All right.